Oscar Q. Zilch. I'm still confused as to what tone 40 is supposed to be in Scientology. Is it a state of pure serenity, or is it the tone an angry wizard might make in order to break up a traffic jam? Okay, thank you for this. So tone 40 is a term that is used in Scientology, and it's an interesting thing because it is more along the lines of that serenity of that pure serenity you mentioned in your question. It's a place which is supposed to be the highest emotional state or state of existence that a spiritual entity can exhibit or be in. At least here in the physical universe, in all of this. But Hubbard didn't even limit it to that. He just said tone 40 is the top of the scale. And this came out of the work on the tone scale. But the tone scale came out of, the true story is that it came out of Hubbard's drunken apathy in Palm Springs, California in 1950-51. But the scale is supposed to be a numeric scale of our emotional states. From body death, which is no emotion at the bottom of the scale where you're not really exhibiting any emotion anymore, up through apathy and grief and fear and anger and boredom, and Hubbard put these into a sequence or an order, and he said that this sequence came out of how pre-clears were observed to go through emotional states as they went through engrams, as they ran out their past traumas with Dianetics. I mean, it's all poppycock, but that's what he said. And so at the top of this scale, what eventually happened is that Hubbard said that for human beings, you go up to 4 on the scale. So the scale goes 0, the body death, to 4, which is like enthusiasm. And that's the highest emotional state that a human body can exhibit. Even though there are higher states of being that a thetan can be in or experience. Gosh, I'm trying to think right now of what some of those higher states are. Games, action, were the names given to some of these higher states of being where you were, in games, you're like, woohoo, everything's a game and it's all fun and we're just playing. And you kind of are in this really high level of excitement and adventure and enthusiasm. But as a thetan, as a spiritual entity, you're actually higher than what your body can exhibit or show. And I know this sounds a bit weird, and it is. But he also said that there were emotional states below body death, where a thetan would be really bad off in terms of his state of being, his awareness and ability and how he would think about the world or interact with it. So you can have these lower emotional states, and then you can have these higher ones. And tone 40 or 40.0 on the tone scale, this he called emotions tones, like musical, harmonic tones. And the highest one is 40.0. That's as high as the scale goes. And that is called Serenity of Beingness. And it's supposed to be a place where Hubbard describes it in a few places where he talks about how it is a state of total uncaring as far as anything goes. He said it's really not an ideal place for a thetan to be if your ideal, if your idea of life and living is mocking up or creating or pursuing goals and the excitement and adventure of carrying out, the actions you need to take in order to accomplish those goals. This is kind of Hubbard's idea of what, a good life consists of. And this is action. This is 20.0. This is like, you're going and you're getting and nothing's getting in your way and you're just making it all happen. But tone 40 is actually way above that. And that's the place where you don't have to have games anymore. You don't have to be playing these silly physical universe games anymore. You just don't even really care. It's a place where you're simply in a sort of happiness and joy, But it's not just these words. It's so much more than that. It's supposed to encompass this native sort of state where a thetan is simply existing and is completely serene and calm and chill about every part of that existence. And the idea of even existing through matter, energy, space, and time, or through bodies, or through the meshed universe, as they say in Scientology, matter, energy, space, time. It doesn't even matter. It's not even important to you. It does. That's like, why would I? You're just out there, and nothing's touching you. This is not a place where people go very often, and Hubbard describes it as not necessarily even an ideal state of being, but it's the highest level you could possibly conceive of, and this is tone 40 or 40.0. So tone 40 is also used as an expression in Scientology to mean pure intention without reservation. There's just no considerations, no reservations, no idea at all that anything is going to get in your way. And the idea in Scientology, and this is really, really just one of the most fundamental ideas of Scientology, is that if you, as a spiritual entity, were to want or desire or put out an idea or an intention for something to happen, it would just happen. Just like that. And the only thing that's getting in your way is your own considerations, your own ideas, your own negativity, your own certainties that it won't work, your self-doubts, right? Your self-reservations. That's what actually stops you from creating anything you want in your life, right here and now. You don't have to even go to the top of the OT levels in order to accomplish this. You as a thetan right now have all the ability you've ever had. The only thing getting in your way is you. And the reason you're getting in your own way is because of all of these agreements that you have agreed to, all these considerations and ideas that you've agreed to, sort of double binds, if you remember me talking about double binds all the time, that you've created for yourself. In order to be in the physical universe, in order to have a body, in order to operate it, you have to forget all kinds of stuff about who you really are. And who you really are is this native, or is this spiritual entity, the spiritual being, who has an infinite ability to create anything, anytime, anywhere, or conversely, destroy anything, anywhere, anytime, right? You don't want that computer there? Boom, it's gone, right? You don't want, something around? Boom, it's gone. That's what you should be able to do. And in your native state, you could do that. And that is really tone 40. That is creation or intention or postulate, as L. Ron Hubbard says, without any reservation whatsoever. You just simply know that's what's going to happen. Whether it's an event, whether it's a creation, whether it's, whatever. Yeah, I think you guys get the idea. So this is also called tone 40. And in Scientology, when you see people in Scientologists really getting, and they're gonna make something happen. They try to go tone 40, right? I'm gonna get all this intention and I'm gonna ram it out and it's gonna happen, and anyway, and so this is the idea. And so clearly, if you accept that this is true, it's not, but if you accept it is, then if you don't pull off anything, I mean, we got this run on us as Sea Org members all the time, right? If something doesn't come off or something isn't made to go right, then, you clearly weren't intending for it to. Your tone 40 sucked. Your intention sucked. And so, it's go. Your thetan needs to go do his homework and figure out how to get tone 40 and how to get things done through sheer intention. And it's not supposed to be, just to address your question, Oscar, You said, is it what the tone an angry wizard might make in order to break up a traffic jam? I'll say no, it's not, because tone 40 has absolutely nothing to do with anger. Anger is down at like 1.5 on the emotional tone scale, right? And tone 40 is way up there. So it has nothing to do with being angry or upset or anything like that. And if I think maybe in cinema, you might, anybody who's seen The Matrix, Neo at the end of the very first Matrix attains a kind of tone 40 intention, a sudden realization that all the world around him is really just something he's able to manipulate and control however he wants. And he just kind of twigs on this, and suddenly you can see that he can see the world differently. It all looks like lines of code, and these agents who were earlier, superhuman speed and strength and ability are nothing to him now. He can just bat them away like so much fluff and nonsense. It doesn't matter to him anymore. That is an approximation of what tone 40 would look like in an ultimate sense. You just wouldn't even have any considerations that anything would stop you at all, and nothing would. So I guess you kind of get the idea that this is pretty high level, highfalutin kind of stuff, and it might sound ridiculous, but if you believe it's true, then you would do almost anything to be able to achieve that level of ability and awareness. And that's what Scientologists are trying to do. And what I've also described here is kind of the ultimate state of OT. And what the goal of being an OT is all about is it's attaining this kind of godlike power. And it's who you all have always been, according to L. Ron Hubbard. So that's what Scientologists are really in it for. And they get quite excited about this and the possibilities and potentialities of tone 40 and how to get there and how to stay there. And that's what Scientology is really kind of centered all around. So I thought this would be an important question to answer. So there you go.